All right, here we go. Chapter 35. Lily. Ooh, I fucked that up. Hold on. There we go. Chapter 35. Lily. Fuckity fuck. My life sucked. Did I make it? I groaned, hating how water from the rain was squishing in my shoes. Please tell me the game isn't over. Might as well be, Stephen grumbled. My God. Hold on. Stephen grumbled. My God, there you are. I didn't think you were going to make it, Vicky moaned as soon as I burst into the suite. Are you okay? You look like shit. You're out of breath and did you fall in a mud puddle? My nose twitched and, after sneezing, I wiped my face, holding my hand out. Yep, I'd fallen face first into a mud puddle when I'd been running from the only parking spot within miles I'd been able to find. So much for VIP parking. There'd been no time to deal with the tailgaters drinking themselves into oblivion while blocking the special section with their hot dog carts and cotton candy machines. What was worse than jogging 2 miles in the rain than falling into a mud puddle? The tailgaters dressed up in werewolf costumes. The legend lived on. Panting, I scanned the suite before staring at the scoreboard, 3-1, with the Denver Devils in the lead. This wasn't happening. We couldn't lose. The fans were going nuts. I'd barely made it to the suite without accidentally getting in the middle of 2 separate fistfights. Fights. The crowd would destroy the arena if they lost. Saint's parents were glaring at me as if I was the bad seed. At least Stephen rose to his feet, ignoring his parents as he sauntered over. Please tell me Saint scored the single point, I said absently. I wasn't certain it would matter given the current score and the fact there was 1 period left. Nope, Stephen tossed out, while studying me with a strange light in his eyes. I had to remind myself he was a wolf as well. You back with your ex? Ex? Fuck no. I mean, heck no. Heck no. Oh, let's go over here. Paul, hello. Heck no. Heck no. I moved in between the group. But my ex is out to sabotage the game. I need your help. Everyone here, because I'm not running out of time. Oopsies, I just added a whole word. Help. Everyone here, because I'm running out of time. Let's see. Gotta mute every other sentence. TikTok is so cool. Out of time. The shithead ex is also trying to ruin Saint's life, which means ruining my life. I can't allow that to happen. Unmute. Walala. Can't allow that to happen. Okay. Can't allow that to happen. My exasperation showed. Charlotte rose to her feet, searching my eyes. Do you love my son? Or is what they're saying to me true? That this was just a job? Saint's father was begging me with his eyes not to say anything. He didn't need to worry. His secret was safe with me. I love your son more than anything in this world. I've got the posters and magic markers, Vicky shouted as if my cheerleader. I've got the posters and magic markers, Vicky shouted as if my cheerleader. I looked at her and sighed. What if this didn't work? I'm trusting you. My son had never felt this way about anyone. I know my boy. Charlotte placed her hand on mine. He's everything I never knew I needed, I admitted. Let's do this, she said. We have a drop-dead date for the wedding. All hands on deck. Now, okay, that's the loudest sound I've ever heard. A date for the wedding. All hands on deck. Now, boys, now. Wedding. As I peered at the ice, while the Zamboni machine worked its magic, I wondered what Saint must be thinking, and just how much damage control I'd need to do. Not with social media, but with the sinfully sexy hockey star who'd awakened my soul to new possibilities, including a love of the wild. Saint. Okay, we gotta mute TikTok. Cool. Saint. You need to get your heads out of your asses, boys, or we won't win this thing. Coach Kavanaugh barked. While he was trying his best to keep the spirits up, I could tell by the look on both his and Jonathan's faces that we were doomed. Of course we were. I couldn't hit a basketball with my stick if it hit me in the face. My anger was off the charts. The fact I'd almost... Well, we'll mute that again. Off the charts. The fact I'd almost sliced off a head when the puck had gone wild in the stands was something I'd never live down. I couldn't look at my team, but didn't need to. I could feel their angry glares. We have 1 period left, the coach added, with sadness in his voice. I need you on this, Savage. That's what Lily would want. As soon as he mentioned her name, I bristled but knew he was right. She'd worked very hard to allow me to focus on the game, and not my birthright. Where was my Lily Flower? I found it impossible to think she'd want to get back together with him, but the photo was real. The kiss had appeared passionate. However, when I was finished with the game, I planned on TikTok. Why? I was finished with the game. I planned on hunting down her ex. I'd toss him in the woods of the compound and see if he could handle the chase. Unmute. Hooray. The chase. It's time, boys. Let's do this. I nodded and waited as the others piled out. The moment I was on the ice, I tried to shake it off. Solving my personal problems on the ice had never been an issue before. Why now? Why her? The answer was clear, but maybe one I needed to forget about. Yet, the ache remained burning a hole in my heart. I skated around the ice, doing what I could to shove the sadness into a locked box. And mute again. Box. Hey, tough guy. I heard your main squeeze 2-timed you. Couldn't happen to a nicer asshole. Teehee? Asshole. Hearing Rocco's voice was all it took to snap me back. I gotta keep muting this. God, TikTok. TikTok, be cooler. Asshole. Hearing Rocco's voice was all it took to snap me back into needing to kill something. Or someone. He was as good a choice as any. I lunged toward him, tossing my stick on the ice. Within seconds, we were both beating the shit out of each other, punches flying, one pitching the other across the ice. We growled as if in competition, and there was no doubt by the vibrations beneath our feet we could shift at any moment. I saw the same look of hunger in his eyes as I'd noticed in mine. We were both in need of settling down, mating the only hope we had of keeping our shit together to play this game the right way. The snarls continued, drowned out by shouts coming from all directions. Okay, good old fight scenes. What's up, Levi? What's up? All directions. All directions. Players, coaches, and refs circled around us. Now it was team against team, the shouting echoing in my ears. I had both hands. Probably should mute that too. I had both hands wrapped around Rocco's shirt, jerking him into his. Oh, fuck. I had both hands wrapped around Rocco's shirt, jerking him onto his feet. Sadly, I didn't have a chance to finish what I'd started, yanked away by security personnel. Security personnel. What the hell? The coach yelled. Get it together, both of you. Both of you. On the sidelines, Rocco, the Devils coach yelled. You're a disgrace to the sport, both of you. When the two of us tried to go at it again, a shrill sound caught my attention. No ordinary man would have heard the whistle above the roar of the crowd. But I did, because I knew the lilt in her voice. Whether talking, which she did too much of, singing, which I hated to admit. Man, this is gonna be hate speech. Jesus fuck. Her voice. Whether talking, which she did too much of, singing, which I hated to admit she sucked at, humming, which always managed to take some of the anxiety away, or whistling, which she enjoyed doing when she was really frustrated with me. I'd know Lily's voice anywhere, and her smile, and her laugh, and her scent. As I took a deep breath, a very deep breath, I slowly skated away from the melee. She was here. Not only did I gather a whiff of her awesome perfume and the piercing sound she'd made while, I didn't even say the line. Whiff of her awesome perfume and the from the melee. She was here. Not only did I gather a whiff of her awesome perfume and the piercing sound she'd made lingering in my eardrums, but every inch of skin was tingling because of her presence. With a quick sweep of my eyes, I found her. Very slowly, I started to skate closer. Whether or not the crowd had quieted down, I wasn't certain, but all I could hear was the rapid beating of her heart. Thump, 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 thump. Or was that mine? As I closed the distance, signs began to appear. Not just any signs. Not the ones from the superfans still encouraging the team after a disastrous game, but something much more personal. Signs from her held up by my family. Hey, wild man, this girl loves... Okay, hold on, say it without being weird. By my family. Hey, wild man, this girl loves you. Don't believe everything you see. There are dark forces attempting to break us apart. I ripped off my helmet, studying her more intently. Her face was pensive, and her eyes imploring. Suddenly, every phone in the arena was recording the interaction, and there was silence. You could hear a pin drop. I held out my arms, as if asking what she was trying to say. I was within a few feet, my chest rising and falling. It means, silly, that I'm asking you a question. The girl could read my mind. Grinning, I moved closer as she made her way to the ice... Let's say the line. Read my mind. Grinning, I moved closer as she made her way to the ice ring border. What question? I shouted. We were on the Jumbotron. One view concentrated on her, another on what I was doing in my face. Ugly mug that it was. She lowered the signs, cocking that pretty little head of hers. Her clothes were soaked, her face covered in something dark, which made me laugh. The woman was a mess, but without a doubt, She was the most beautiful woman in the world. My woman, my lover, my fiancé, my mate. "Will you marry me?" she shouted. And what did the little librarian do to tease me? She mouthed the word Wolfman. The hesitation was done on purpose. Everyone leaned in, holding their breath. I skated back and forth. I skated back and forth, making her wait on purpose. Then I body-checked the border, reaching up and lifting her off her feet. I thought you'd never ask. As I crushed my mouth over hers, I heard a collective gasp, then sighs, then chants. "Savage! Savage! Savage!" When I pulled away, she licked her lips. "Time to win a game, wild man. Only for you, babe. Only for you." Lily. "I still don't know how you pulled off the win," I told him as I typed a message after uploading the picture. "Because I'm the best, baby." I threw him a look. He was grinning from ear to ear, tapping the steering wheel to the beat of whatever song he was playing. The man had the worst taste in music, but it was still adorable. Adorable. 4-3. Impressive. What I want to know is, how did you calm Rocco down after the game? You even shook hands. Maybe more impressive than your slap shot at the buzzer. He snorted. Slap shot? I call it like I see it. I glanced out the windshield. Where are we going? You'll see. It's a surprise. Uh-huh. I told Rocco that if he didn't calm his ass down, I'd expose him as the big, bad wolf. You wouldn't, I said, laughing. He pulled into a parking spot. Nope. Laughing. He pulled into a parking pot. Fuck. Laughing. He pulled into a parking lot. There were plenty of cars, and it appeared he'd taken me to a fitness gym or something like it. His grin remained. Yes, I would. He threw the gear into park, immediately cutting the engine. Well, since I'd be careful since he's going to be your new... Oopsies. Well, Okay, come on. Well, I'd be careful since he's going to be your new teammate. No, he's not, he laughed, as if I'd told the funniest joke. The joke was on him. Or maybe on me, since I'd be forced to deal with all him. Or maybe on me, since I'd be forced to deal with all the heavy testosterone. I shifted in my seat and opened the door, climbing out. Well, let's not pause for 12 years. All the heavy testosterone. Golly. Testosterone. I shifted in my seat and opened the door, climbing out, yet sticking my head in so I could see his face. Yes, he is. Face. Yes, he is. I just might. Fuck. Face. Yes, he is. I just might be privy to the new roster that's top secret. What are you talking about? The draft? That's tomorrow. Well, as the team's new full-time public relations director, the owner and coaches thought it prudent I knew what next season would be like. He bumped his head when scrambling from the charger. You are shitting me. Nope. Rocco's being traded. Well, shit. That sucks. The two of you can play nice together and be all furry in your off time, but not on the ice. I'll put my foot down. He was on me in a flash, lifting me in the air. Not going to happen. Two wolves on the same team might be interesting. As he eased me down, he narrowed those gorgeous eyes of his, which always made me swoon. What if there are 3 furry beasts vying for top dog? 3? I don't know another player in the league who's a wolf. I gave him a funny look. Who's a wolf? I gave him a funny look until those eyes opened wide. Steven? Shush! Don't you dare spill the beans. Woohoo! He pumped his fists in the air. Woohoo! He pumped his fist in the air. Like I said, shush. By the way, since we're confessing our sins, what happened to Damien's face? What are you talking... Okay, hold on. Face. What are you talking about? He already looked sheepish. In the 3 days since the spectacular Stanley Cup win on the ice, Damien had indeed been fired. I just happened to be driving by his office when he was being escorted from the building by security. Let's just say he appeared worked over by a big, bad, brutal savage. Oops, that's the wrong line. I better mute TikTok. By security. Let's just say he appeared worked over by a big, bad, brutal savage. That wouldn't happen to be you, would it? There we go. Would it? He shrugged, and the impish look told me all I needed to know. I just had a formal discussion with him on the sins of fucking with my girl. I think he understood. You are incorrigible. So you keep telling me. Why are we here? Because I wanted to surprise you. Since we're getting married, I thought you'd like to see every side of me. Just trust me. As he wrapped his arm around me, walking us toward one of 2 buildings, I studied his profile. He was up to something. The man was whistling, and he never whistled a tune. From what I could tell, the facility also included running trails. There were signs directing members to areas like Rabbit Hill and Foxhole Run. Catchy, but it did put a hitch in my mind. What was the bad boy doing? When we reached the building, he pointed to one of the benches. Just wait right here. I'll be right back. Promise. I'll hold you to it. He spoke with a couple of guys as they were leaving, both dressed in Armani suits. I watched as one headed for a Mercedes coupe, and the other for a Ferrari. This must be an upscale club. My hackles were increasing as seconds ticked. However, the good news of the day was that I no longer had hives. That's what mating did for you. And the man, the Wolfman, had done so with bells on, filling me in ways I'd never thought possible. I'd be sore for a week, but that didn't bother me in the least. I said that wrong. But that didn't bother me in the least. Maybe my she-wolf was eager to come out and play. Maybe 4 minutes later, Saint returned, completely naked. I had no idea what to say, but I knew my mouth was hanging wide open. What are you doing? The last time I checked, it wasn't polite to walk around naked in a public park. Walk with me. Don't worry, I won't get arrested. This just happens to be a special facility. Nothing about you surprises me any longer. Special facility. Nothing. Okay, hold on. Special facility. Nothing about you. Excuse me. Special facility. Nothing about you surprises me any longer. I guess we'll see about that. We walked into the woods, still on the path. When he stopped and turned, my instinct told me exactly what to expect. You're going to shift for me, aren't you? Are you sure you want to see the dark side of me? I clapped, letting off a little squeal, Boy, oh boy, how things had changed between us. Drastically. But I did ask myself whether or not I wanted to see what I'd already witnessed in the video. Injector Gadget, welcome. Video. I could pretend he was a man and nothing else, squelching rumors as part of my job forever if necessary. However, was that any way to start off a marriage? As I twisted the beautiful engagement ring, I nodded. I'm positive. Might be gory. Fur will fly. Gory I can handle. I'm a big girl. Every time he grinned, his dimples were exposed. Don't say I didn't warn you. I saluted. Duly noted. Duly noted. He took a deep breath before walking away. As he crouched down, I was more than curious. I was eager to see how all this— No, he didn't say the line. I was eager to see how this all worked. Just in case I'd need to explain the process to our children. Correction, our pups. The thought kept me smiling, even as the ground beneath my feet began to vibrate. I'd witnessed everything from horrific car wrecks to dead deer on the side of the road. I'd watched horror flicks, although they weren't my favorites, but seeing him shift into his primal form was beautiful. Most girls wouldn't think that way when their man suddenly turned into a possible vicious killer, but I was obviously not a typical girl, to say the least. Was that because I was part wolf, or because I adored a man once been determined— Part wolf? Or because I adored a man I'd once been determined to hate. All in a day's work. Or all for— okay, oopsies. Day's work. Or all was fair in love and war. Whatever the right words, after he'd finished shifting, all I wanted to do was to drop down and cuddle with him. What did that say about a quiet librarian with a penchant for romance novels and a big— with him? What did that say about a quiet librarian with a penchant for romance novels and big, bad alpha men? Not too bad for a rookie, I told the beast as I approached. However, you should work on your form. I can help you clean up your image. He tipped. Your image. He tipped his head back and howled. As one of my favorite actors, Johnny Depp, once said, love is not blind. It simply enables one to see what others fail to see. What was I seeing? The perfect savage. The savage Iceman. The end. Well, we did it. We done did it. That's 35 chapters of a hockey, a romance, a werewolf, a shifter, novel, audiobook. And this one is— I'm going to be honest with you, that was my favorite audiobook to narrate to date. I enjoyed that quite thoroughly. I'll be sure to keep an eye out. It'll be out in about 3 weeks. And it'll be cool. User a bunch of numbers said join from your posts. Well, welcome. You met me at the end here. I'm going to give you a little wave here, and I will unfortunately tell you this will be the last live for a while, because we're done. We're done with the book. This book has come to a conclusion, and I won't be working on one until the next one, which will probably be— I don't know. What day is it? Later this week, I'm sure. It's a good time. Thank you all for being here. This is a fantastic story. Also, I do have an audiobook I just released. It's A Town Called Sundown, written by Richard McCrowan. It's a fiction tale of— has to do with like the Salem witch trials and whatnot. It's a good time. If you want it and you don't have any Audible credits left or whatnot, slide into my DMs and I'll send you a promo code. It's a good time. And we're having a good time. So thank you all for being here. Yeah, we're having fun. Alrighty. Goodbye.